Hey, what's going on, family? TSpeaks. As I promised, this is that moment. Like I said the other day, you will always be unhappy on that job and you'll continue to get undervalued unless you do these 5 things. This is the ultimate hack, family. Tell me you're ready. Tell me you're ready. Number 1, the first thing you have to do is shift your focus. See, a lot of times people on jobs, they start to focus on how can they do the best for that job and nothing else. How can they make the boss look better? How can they be the absolute, I'm talking about astonishing, I want to say servant, but the star employee. You need to shift your focus. I'm not saying don't do what you're responsible to do. I'm not saying don't do what you're getting paid to do. I'm saying do that, but shift your focus. I need to shift. So the most important thing is not this job. What is it? It's me. You need to start saying to yourself, it is me that is the most important thing on this job. What that does is once you start shifting your focus, things become a lot more clearer to you. Things become more defined. So you ever start saying to yourself when you're having a bad day, if one more person gets on my nerves, if one more person says this and all of a sudden they do, that's exactly what happens. So when you shift your focus, you'll begin to start saying things like, you know what, when I leave here and start my own, when I have this, when all the things are in place, I'm going to, and believe it or not, the ground will meet your feet is something I like to say. You'll start realizing you'll start having conversations different. You'll start meeting people that you didn't meet. You'll start seeing things that were in front of you, but you had no idea they were there. A person that builds websites, a person that can help you do this, a person that can get the business plan. That's what happens once you shift your focus. Instead of outside, shift your focus on you. That's the first thing you need to do. The 5 things, the first thing is definitely shift your focus, because if you don't, you will continuously look outward to see how can I do this? How can I make sure this is done right? How can I make sure that this person is looking better? And how can I run this way? And it never goes on you. You never take the time to shift it on you to get what you need, the thoughts, to get to where you want to be. The second thing you have to do, now this is going to be a big one, this is going to be a tough one, and trust me, I understand. I spent years doing this the opposite way. I spent years actually, believe it or not, looking for someone else. You have to give yourself the responsibility to be successful. You got to give yourself the responsibility. Many of us give our bosses or our companies the responsibilities for making us comfortable, for making our lives good. But listen, the scripture says, I know the thoughts that I have to you. Thoughts to prosper you and not harm you, to give you a hope and a future. Now, if you think about it, that's in the Bible. And yes, everything I say has definitely a Bible undertone, because this is what I believe. It is what I'm here for on this earth to do. If Jesus Christ said, I know the thoughts that I have to you, to prosper you. Prosper is to be materialistically successful, to be successful. I'm talking about financially successful, not just have the material, but financially successful to do what? To basically live your life the way that it was purposed for you to live it. Instead of living your life running after a paycheck. And let me tell you this, before you say, well, wait a minute, I'm getting paid a good amount of money. You may not have been, yes, I was. Yeah, and listen, 6 figures, it's kind of easy to get 6 figures if you do literally make up your mind to do something. You can actually get the 6 figures, because people used to think 6 figures was $1 million. No, it's not. But literally, you have to give yourself responsibility to make yourself successful. What does that do? That takes the power away from your boss. That takes you, stop looking and expecting, I wonder what kind of raise you're going to get. Let me do this and let me run harder. By the way, running hard for your money is not necessarily the way to be it, because your money wants to find you. You just heard the scripture say, your thoughts to prosper you. Your money wants to come to you. But the thing about it is, we feel we have to do all these things in order to get the money. But literally, you don't. When you take the responsibility, you stop looking for a 2 or 3% raise. You stop looking for promotion on the job, because you recognize the one thing. What a promotion, let's get it real. What a promotion does is, number 1, it says you're going to work harder because you got a promotion. In a lot of places, corporations, even in my companies, they would give you a title first before they gave you the money. Why? Because the money stays. The title is basically nothing but, hey, we could call you Mr. instead of by your first name. So when you take the responsibility back on you, what you do is you said, you know what? I'm in charge of me. Who's most important? Me. Who's going to get me there? Me. You start making it to where I can't sit and do nothing. I can't sit and wait for another man to make my life better. I can't wait to see what kind of bonus he's going to give me at the end of the year. I can't wait to see if I'm even going to get a raise. I can't wait to see if the company is going to do better, because one of the biggest tricks in corporate America is to get all the profits and to say at the end of the year, well, we had an okay year. Wait a minute. Wait. What do you mean okay year? I had a good year. I did everything I was asked to do, and then I stayed later. I came in earlier. You even told me I had a good year the whole way through. Then around November, you kind of stopped saying that because bonus was coming. How is it that you had a bad year, I had a good year, and now it's us? These are the tricks to make sure that one set of people, the bosses, the owners, stay wealthy, stay financially successful, if you will, and while you continue to stay what? Subservient. Subservient, listen, an indentured servant, basically deciding what you're going to do according to what they tell you to do. What does that mean? You're going to get to work when you're told to. You're going to leave work when you're told to. You're going to eat when you're told to. What are you going to do on your own? Whatever you can do when you're not in here. But the thing about it is, when you get the title or you start getting the money, you're going to be in here a lot longer. And when you go outside in your life, you're not going to live it the way you were purposed to live it. You're not going to have a hope in the future. But think about it. Do you feel like you have a hope in the future on your job? I'm not talking about if you can stay there, because of course they'll let you stay there into retirement. Why not? Who would fire you if you're doing everything you can to make the boss wealthy, to make the company look better? Who would fire you if you're doing every bit of job that you're supposed to do and then taking something from somebody else to do, trying to get a little bit more money? But have you ever noticed that the money's never enough? That you're never getting the exact amount that you need? Because it's not supposed to be built like that. If you got everything you need, what would you need them for? What would you need them for? So you have to take the responsibility off of them and put it on yourself. What is that going to cause you to do? It's going to cause you to do a couple things. Number one, you're going to start focusing. You're going to start getting the material. You're going to hire a coach, a mentor. You're going to hire a business coach, someone to help you get to where you are, to where you want to be. You're going to start literally starting to watch the way you spend your money. You're going to start doing things because why? The responsibility is mine in order for me to be where I want to be. Which takes me to number three. What do you have to do? The third step that you have to basically do in order to make sure that you get to where you're supposed to be is you have to define your why. What I mean by, what are you doing it for? Why do you want to get to the level of being successful? And I'm not talking about just materialistic, by having a car and a boat, because you can have a house basically from getting a GI loan with no money down, making $30,000 a year, but with literally excellent credit over 100. You can have a house. It won't be a big house, but it could be a house. So it's not those materialistic things. To be truly successful, financially successful, means you buy back your time. You get to enjoy yourself the way you want. Your why has to be big enough for you to go after it, not things that you can reach out and grab. Like a house, or my why is because I want to buy a Benz, or I even want to buy a Maybach, or I want to buy, my why is bigger. My why, matter of fact, continues to expand. My why continues. It's so broad, I have to put everything I have toward it. All of my energy. I'm waking up earlier, I'm going to bed late, I'm focusing, I don't have time for this, I can't focus on this. Why? Because it's taking me away from my why. If your why is to spend time with your family, to watch your kids grow, that's an excellent why. But when your kids get older, then what's going to push you? What's going to make you? Because when it gets hard, and it will, when it gets tough, it will. When you have nobody cheering you on, when you can't get a word of encouragement from anybody, your why has to be that factor that causes you to get up and say, you know what? No matter what, I'm getting up, I'm doing it. I'm going. Why? Because the picture that you drew in your head of what success looks like, that is what you are running after. That, and I said run because the time to walk is over. The time to walk and to pursue things is over. You have to define your why. It's almost like a carrot on a stick. Keep it in front of you. Keep it around you. Write it down on a piece of paper. When it gets hard, I got my why. When I don't even know what to say, I got my why. When your friends ask you, listen, can you go out? No, I'm working on my why. My why is, why do I want this? And I pray that it's something to do with serving people, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. When you desire to serve people with your gifts, they will find you to pay you for those gifts. I'm going to say that again. When you desire to serve people with your gifts, They will find you in order to pay you for those gifts. You don't have to look for people to pay you. They will come because what you have is so valuable in you. So valuable in you that somebody will pay for it. Many somebodies, because there's over 7 billion people in this world. The only difference is they don't know you have it yet. Why? Because you haven't got out there and told them, I have it. You have to define your why. And when you literally define your why, believe me, it'll keep you moving. Which takes us to the fourth part. The fourth thing that you have to do is create or define your strategy. You have got to have a strategy. It's almost as if you're sitting there with the puzzle, no instructions, and you don't start. You keep going, oh, I'm going to get to this. I'm gonna definitely do this. I'm going to put this puzzle together. And you never know how. There's no step 1. There's no step 2. There's no step 3. Now I want to be honest. I want to be completely honest with you. It is difficult. It is difficult to do these things. If it were easy, everybody would do it. But think about the reward. Think about that part that said, I know the thoughts that I have and the plans that I have for you. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Tell me you don't feel sometime in pain by going in on that job on a Monday morning after you've had a week, and tell me it doesn't feel painful. But you have to literally get a strategy. I'm going to do this step. I'm going to do this step. I'm going to do that step. Because if you don't, what you will do is find yourself tired because you will be doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that and getting nothing done. You ever seen somebody, whenever you talk to them, you go, hey, what's going on? And they start telling you about 3, 4, 5 things that they're doing, or even 6 things, and they sound so busy. But busy doesn't mean productive. Busy doesn't mean that you're getting anywhere. Busy means that there's movement. Okay, perfect example. I ride a motorcycle. If you do a burnout on a bike, which means you hold it, you give it gas, but you don't let the bike move. Your back tire spins and makes the smoke. It looks wonderful. Crazy, good, really, really nice stunt. Nice. People around seeing it like, whoa, because the bike wants to engage. The bike wants to fly off, but it's not moving anywhere. That's what it is. When you don't have a strategy, you move nowhere. You move nowhere. You don't go anywhere. You just talk a good one. It's like kind of shooting imaginary basketball. It goes in every time, but you haven't scored really. So even with your plan, the things that you want to do, you have to seriously create the strategy. You have to create the strategy. And that's going to take me to my 5th step. Family, this is by far the most important. I think it is pretty much important. You have to start to execute. What that means is when you basically shifted your mind, when you've basically taken the responsibility, given yourself the responsibility to get yourself there. I'm good. I'm not looking for that boss to do it. I'm not looking for this company to promote me. I'm not looking for this company to make me successful. The Bible says I am supposed to be successful. I'm giving the responsibility to me. I know my why. Why do I want to do this? I know the people I'm going to serve. I know the people I'm going to present my gifts to. I know what it's going to look like. I know how much time I'm going to buy back. I'm going to watch my kids, my grandkids. I'm going to travel. I'm going to enjoy my life the way it was predestined for me to do. I have my strategy, but it means nothing. If you don't start to execute, it's like having the brand new keys to a Maybach outside and never putting the key in to start it up and take off. It's like having, seriously, the keys to the biggest mansion, whatever it is that you feel that you want, the largest yacht. It's like having the keys to a spaceship and they say that is yours and they walk away with the key. If you don't start to execute, you get nowhere. You get nowhere and you're right there where you started from. And you know what happens at that point? We become complacent. We get discouraged. Even with the why, if you don't start to execute and strike it fast, you start to lose momentum. Trust me. There are many people who absolutely had the greatest ideas in the world. And you know what they did? They sat on them. A couple things happen. Either someone else decides to do it first, and then you start watching people do it. Then you feel even worse because you didn't do it. So you really don't do it because you go, it's already been done. Or you sit there long enough to where you go, you doubt, self-doubt. You think it's going to work. It might work, may not work. Be pretty soon. You don't know. Why? Because you never launch out. Listen, money loves speed. Your future, your expected end, your prosperous, your financially secure life is waiting for you. It's waiting for you, but you have to execute. You have to press the go button. If you don't press the go, you'll never know. And see, here's the thing. I've had a lot of people. I talked to one guy, because me from the financial industry, I talked to one guy before and he was like, yeah, I had this mock portfolio up and I was doing all these trades, man, and I was up like a couple 100%. I was doing really well, so how much money did you put in? He said nothing. It was just a mock. I just played around with it just to kind of see if I could do it. He said, yeah, but I did really well. Of course you did well, because it wasn't real. And you never hit the button by funding the account to see what really, because once you start to execute, there's a couple things that happen. Number one, your body starts to react. You start to literally get happy, starting straight, going, I'm actually out the gate. I'm no longer, and you shift in one moment from who you used to be, which was someone who didn't move, maybe someone that was sitting, maybe someone that was looking for somebody else. You literally have become a doer overnight, just like that. Even if you don't know every step, even if you don't have everything jotted out, even if you don't have the plan completely worked out, you have to start to execute. When you execute, like I said, the ground will meet your feet and a couple other things happen. This is the remarkable part. I don't even know how it happens. People will come alongside of you to assist you, to help you. It's almost as if the earth knows we have one. Success is coming for them because they're going after it. True story, true story. I had someone come and literally when I was branching out on my own, becoming a business strategist, when I was literally becoming a coach, I had someone come to my house to fix, luxury vehicle. He was fixing mine. I'm not blowing a horn or nothing. He was fixing my Mercedes outside the house. And I'm talking to him here and there. He left, he fixed it, he left. He drives back when I'm upstairs in my house, car is fixed, everything is fine. And he calls me and says, hey, I feel like something in my spirit says that I should ask you, can you help me build my business? Family, listen to me. I was on the phone with my mouth open. Not that I couldn't do it, but I was surprised that it happened that fast. I was surprised that literally things were coming into alignment and agreement with me and my execution and my plan. And when I took the responsibility and gave it to myself, all of it, when I shifted my thoughts, he asked me to help him build a business. Want to hear something else remarkable? I made more money with him just talking and telling him what to do, just being his coach, than I did on Wall Street. How is that possible? Wall Street is the end-all be-all for some people. Financially, you get bonuses and all of this. Yes, experience every bit of that. You get a bonus enough to go buy a brand new car in cash. And I'm not talking about a smaller car. I'm talking about a very nice size, decent, like in cash. It can look like it's the end-all be-all, like it's the greatest thing. But suppose the amount of money, even making $150,000 a year, suppose you were purposed and meant to make that money in a week or in a month. And there you are spending the time making it in a year and giving what in exchange? Your life. When he asked me that, I agreed and I said, oh, doesn't cost me anything except me getting on the phone, me going by your business, me telling you exactly what you need to do, some changes and everything. You know what happened? He got 100% return. He got 100% return on his business because he opened up 2 businesses because of me. Now, I'm not blowing my horn, but what I'm saying is, if you don't start to execute, you will not avail yourself to all the possibilities that are waiting for you. They are waiting for you. But here's the thing. You have to take the first step. It's not going to come to you and go, knock, knock, knock. Are you ready to take the step? But when you do, the ground will meet your feet. Family, these are the 5 things that you need to do in order to shift and to change your life. Straight. Starting off, you need to shift your focus. You need to give yourself the responsibility for your life. You need to figure out and define your why. Your why. You need to create a strategy. This is my plan. This is my course of action. This is what I'm going to do. And you need to start to execute those 5 things. I guarantee you start to do those 5 things, you will never be where you are right now in your life ever again. If you do those things, you will. Promise you. Move your life exponentially where it is supposed to be. You'll get further faster than you've ever done before on a regular job. Family, those are the 5 things. And I'll tell you something. I'm having so much fun with y'all. Let me give you another one. This is the ultimate hack, family. Let me just give you one other thing as a bonus. One thing as a bonus. Here's what you're going to have to do. you're going to have to keep it quiet. You're going to have to watch who you speak to, who you let into your dreams and your hopes, because there are dream killers out there. There are individuals who you think are friends, but they're frenemies. There are people out there that when you start to do something, they are going to get resistant and they're going to try to stop you. Why? Because they're not, because they didn't come up with the plan, because they don't feel that you should be more successful than them. So you've got to keep it really, really low. Make sure you are out the gate. Make sure you're already moving. Make sure the engine has left the station already before you begin to let everyone know. Make sure you let only choice people know. Those individuals who you know want the best for you, even if it's not with them. I'll say that again. Make sure the people that you involve in your transition, when you are shifting your life, make sure when you're changing your mind, shifting your life, you tell only those people who are really genuinely for you. And if you don't know who is, great. Don't say it to anyone. Say it to yourself, because after all, when you defined your why, I know you're at the point of that. You had to be at the center of the why. I want to be financially successful and I want to buy back my time. What does that look like? That money is coming in from my businesses, that I can spend my time the way I want to. Family, that's it for me. I just wanted to give that to you. Those are the 5 things. Actually, with the bonus with the 6. If you like something that you've heard, do me a favor and comment below. Make sure you subscribe, family. I appreciate it. And you guys might want to go on Facebook, because we're going to be going live here. I'm going to see if I can go live here tomorrow. If there's anything you want me to explain to you, anything you want to talk about, do me a favor, add it to the comments. Love to hear from you. I'm TSpeaks. And don't forget, change your mind, change your life. TSpeaks.